Yo, what's up, folks? It's Impact, and I want to take this time to welcome you back to the Hurt Business 101. Let's get right into this video, man. Today, I want to talk about the aftermath of the Earl Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford fight. Man, listen, all I've been hearing since that fight is excuses, excuses, excuses from one person or another. And I'm going to name some names today because I'm just in that kind of mood, because these subjects really irritate me. I get vexed listening to all these excuses from different people. And mind you, none of this falls at the feet of Earl Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. has been nothing but a warrior. He has done nothing but accept his defeat. And he hasn't made any excuses, whether there was something wrong with him or not. That man accepts his defeat because he stepped into that ring. And once you step into that ring, what you're saying is, whatever the circumstances were going into the fight, whatever went on during camp, I feel like I'm good enough to go and I'm good enough to win, and I'm out. I'm going to step out there and get it in. So after a fight, nobody wants to hear the excuses. Sure, sometimes there's reasons for everything, but we don't want to hear it. And Earl Spence Jr. has done a good job at not making up excuses, but it's the rotten-ass fans, it's the rotten-ass media, and it's these biased fighters and biased content creators that want to do nothing but make up excuses when the guy that they were rooting for or their pick turned out to be wrong. I'm the first to tell you, I make predictions all the time. Most of the time I get them right, but sometimes I get them wrong. Why I get some wrong? Because first of all, we're only forecasting when we make predictions. We're guessing. We're trying to process it in our mind based on everything we've seen from a guy, or at least you should be processing it based on everything you've seen from this guy, everything you've seen from that guy. Whose style do you think is better suited to win versus the other guy, and things of that nature. It should never be based on I'm Team Spence or I'm Team Crawford or I'm Team PBC and I don't like Top Rank. None of that stuff matters. Okay, that stuff to me is kid shit. Like it's kitchen. It's like what they call kitchen bitches. It's reality TV. It doesn't mean nothing. I don't know these guys personally, so I'm just matching them up as fighters, styles. Even if I have a guy I'm rooting for. For instance, I just got to pick wrong. Right here on this channel, I picked Fulton to beat Inoue. I believed that Inoue would not be prepared for a lot of the things that Fulton brought to the table, because I haven't seen Inoue up against those type of things before. I haven't seen him in there with a guy like Fulton before, and I believe Fulton had attributes that could cause Inoue problems. But I also stated that I believed he would lose that fight but go on to another level the next time, and I didn't believe that Fulton would beat him if they rematched, because I just seen that type of talent in Inoue, but I just thought this would be a shock to his system. Well, it goes to show you that just because I'm not giving him credit for something that I never seen him do, but now I've seen it. And now I can honestly tell you that guy is the real deal. He has it all. I've seen him in adversity before when he got hurt, how he responded. And now I just seen him step up in class against a guy who I thought had some skills that could actually get a win against him and cause him serious trouble. And he handled that with ease. So guess what? I didn't come back over here making excuses about the way he wrapped his hands and all that stuff. That stuff is irrelevant. They got up in there, they agreed to whatever they agreed to, and he dominated that fight and he won. That's it. So now I got Gary Russell Jr. I told you I'm gonna name names. Gary Russell Jr. is coming out. The lead up to the fight, they asked Gary Russell who he believed would win the fight. Gary Russell said Earl Spence. He said Terrence Crawford is defensively flawed, and Earl Spence is very fundamental. He has better defense. He's stronger, more physical. He's a well-rounded fighter, and he believed that he would beat Terrence Crawford. We know Gary Russell is biased against Terrence Crawford because he doesn't like Terrence Crawford. He talked about, they've been going back and forth. He talked about how he punched Terrence Crawford in the face back when they was amateurs, and Terrence ain't do nothing, and blah, blah, blah. They've been going back and forth. He don't like him. So right there, you can't say you're not being biased because you fist fought him and you've been talking for a while, going back and forth with him, talking about you wanted to fight him. So right there, now that your prediction was wrong, now you come back on record saying, oh yeah, Spence didn't look right. You know, he looked like something was wrong with him. He's dehydrated or weight drained or something was going on. I know it just wasn't. Come on, man. Earl Spence ain't making no excuses. You know how much liquid he was intaking? Do you know he said he had a nutritionist right before the fight, days before the fight? He said he felt really good. He made the weight well because he had his nutritionist in. He said everything was fine. This is one of his best camps. So now he faced Terrence Crawford. It don't go his way. He gets dominated. Now all of a sudden, it had to be something wrong with him. Sugar Shane Mosley. He goes on record. Told you I'm going to name names. He goes on record saying, no, you know what? I can tell that he was dehydrated. Trust me, I know it's happened to me before. Even though I won my fight, it still happened to me before. So I know he wasn't right. He need to do it at a higher weight class, 54 next time, and this, that, and the third. Come on, Shane. Come on. Come on, man. We don't want to hear that. You won your fight, you said, right? So after you got your hand raised that night, did you bring up anything about the fact that you were weight drained or had troubles making the weight and you weren't yourself? No, you didn't say it. You didn't bring it up. You didn't even tell us what fight it was that happened to you in. You just said it happened to me before and I won my fight. Which fight? Can we go back and look at it to see if you look drained or anything like that? No. So it's no need of you even bringing that up. It makes no sense. Jamel Charlo. I told you I was going to name names. Just recently heard an interview with Jamel Charlo. When he just got finished, they just asking him about Terrence Crawford versus Earl Spence and would he fight Crawford next, and had a whole thing going on. And what did Jamel Charlo say? Y'all don't want to talk about all those rabbit punches and punches behind the head. That's what y'all don't want to talk to him. That's what happened. He knocked his equilibrium off. Charlo, we watched that fight. And that's all you can come up with is a rabbit punch to the back of the head? He completely dominated Earl Spence. I'm going to go on record. I picked Terrence Crawford to win the same way that he won. I just always believed that Earl Spence Jr. would be able to push him and put up more resistance. I didn't think it was going to look that easy, but I knew the same things that he done to win the fight, he would use to win. I picked that. I forecasted that. I didn't think that it would look like that. That was one-sided, completely one-sided. It didn't take him to the second half of the fight to figure it out like I thought he would. He would start to get over on him later as Spence slowed down a little bit. His reflexes would be a little too much. I thought that would happen. So, hey, it happened. He lost the fight. Another excuse I heard. He suffered, it's a report, he suffered a rib injury during training camp. And he wasn't able to spar for the last 6 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks. Really? A rib injury? So what is it? Is it a rib injury? Was he dehydrated? Was he weight drained? Was it the accident? Was it the detached retina surgery? What was it? What was it? Was it the rabbit punches? Was it the neurological issue that this so-called doctor, he didn't even tell us what the fuck he was a doctor of. We don't know he's a doctor. He's a pediatrician or something. What is he? We don't know what he's a doctor of. Is he a neuroscience? Is he a neurologist or something like that? What is he? He's saying neurological issues prior to the fight. He hasn't done an examination, the first on Earl Spence Jr., and he don't know anybody who did. You just making up shit. Just diagnosing people with stuff. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Listen, just because we make a pick, and if the pick is wrong, the pick is wrong. That's why y'all emotional dudes gotta stop picking teams and all that stuff, people y'all don't know, from a can of fucking paint, and you get married to your positions, and then after that happens, your heart is broke, you distraught, and you in disbelief, and you gotta try to find a reason why it happened. Earl Spence was not a better fighter than Terrence Crawford. Nothing in that fight. You tell me one thing in that fight you saw that you believed was the fix to the problem that we seen him have that night. It wasn't dehydration or weight drain. It wasn't a rib injury. It wasn't neurological issues. He looked fine to me coming out in the open round. He looked like when he got touched in that next round, it didn't seem like he recovered. Getting hit by a guy that's pinpoint accurate on the chin, okay, for the first time you haven't really been hit with those snappy punches. It could have been, that could have had something to do with it, right? Getting hit in the skimmer and then getting hit with several clean, accurate shots from a guy who actually can make you pay, has the tools to make you pay for mistakes that you've been making, things you've been getting away with. And furthermore, if you did get hit behind his head, it would be his fault for the way he was ducking and turning, because he didn't have any other defense. The way he defends, he found that his defense was being penetrated. He wasn't used to that kind of speed and accuracy and timing, so he wasn't sure how to get away. He's turning his head and ducking. We know you ain't supposed to turn away from a guy. So if you get clipped in the back of the head, oh well. He didn't get hit by a bunch of behind the head blows intentional. Let's cut the nonsense out and give the guy credit where credit is due. And like I said, none of this falls at the feet of Earl Spence Jr. This is all about all the excuses coming out of the content creators' mouths, the media, and these jive-ass fans. I'm getting sick and tired of all the excuses. That's all I'm going to say tonight, man, on this topic. I want to welcome y'all back to this next episode when I'm going to discuss, did Floyd Mayweather ruin boxing? That's what's coming up on the next episode of the Hurt Business 101. Want y'all to remember, you know they say it's no business like show business, but I say it's no business like the Hurt Business. 1-0-1, done.